Welcome to the channel. I'm Savannah Cassie. Now please like, comment, and subscribe for helps me a bunch. Now, Ninjago Crystalized is such a split season. I have never really seen a season that everyone in the Ninjago community either hated or they loved. It is such a split season. Now there are a lot of cool concepts about this, but it just needs a little bit of rewriting. It either needed a second season or it need more episodes or a couple episodes just deleted. Or scenes deleted. Now, I am going to delete a couple of scenes when I rewrite this, because there was a lot of stuff that I was like, okay, we didn't need that. Now, on to my rewriting of Ninjago Crystalized. Now, the ninjas have gone to Jay to try to talk to him to get him out of his funk of Nia, and they're just like, come on, come to this mission, please. You're scaring us. I know you miss Nia. We all Nia, but we can't do anything about her. And Jay's like, you guys talk to her as if she said. She's not. She's just in the water. And they're just like, okay, just come to this mission. We'll talk about it later. And Jay's like, fine, but I'm not gonna like it. So they go and they follow this Finstone's truck that's being smuggled into the city. And they don't know why all this Finstone is being smuggled into the city. They just think it has something to do with the Crystal Counselor, even though they have no clue what the hell that's about. So they go and attack this Finstone truck. Unfortunately, the Secret Ninja Force has popped up, and they have decided to attack the Secret Ninja Force because they're kind of getting tired of them. They're just a group of ninjas that the government has assigned because of when the ninjas became lazy or they're gone, which happens a lot, and they don't really care for the Ninja Force, so they beat them up. Unfortunately, while beating them up, the truck goes fully around the city, which almost leads the truck into water. Unfortunately, this is where Nia does appear and saves them, and this is where the ninjas and the ninja force comes out and sees Nia, and Jay's like, Nia, you're alive, and Nia's like, do I know you? And he's like, it's me, it's Jay, we're lovers, you know me, come on. And he's like, I don't know you. And she jumps back into the water, and they're just like, oh my god, Nia's alive, we gotta save her. And Zane's like, okay, we gotta be rational, we still don't know anything about the crystallized counselor or why they need the Finstone. So they have decided to split into two teams. Well, debating who goes on which team, Jay has decided to get a bottle, put a message in the bottle, and throw it in seed, hoping that Nia will see it and read it. Now, Lloyd does realize that they need help, so he calls on Skylor. This is where Kai says you have her number. Now there are going to be two teams. Kai, Skylor, and Jay on one to go try to find Nia and talk some sense into her. And second team would be Lloyd, Cole, and Zane to find the Finstone. Now, for Lloyd's team, while they're trying to figure out the Finstone, Pixel has said, hey, you know what's weird about all these shipments? Is that they're all related to people that they have either locked up or beaten up. So they're like, okay, so the Finstone, whoever has hired these people to taken the Finstone is related to them. So they find one of the bad guys and who has taken the Finstone? Who is the Crystal King? And the guy's like, I don't know. We don't know who the people are. They wear masks. If you get lucky, sometimes you get into the Crystal Council, but that's all we know. So they make a list and cross out a lot of names, and they figure out the handyman bad guy is most likely gonna be recruited to the team. And Cole's like, yeah, that makes sense because he's been rising up to high ranks since the last time we saw him. And so they go and beat him up, and Lloyd has taken his place. Unfortunately, when he goes into the Crystal Council, the Crystal person reveals he's not the leader, and also the handyman is not the handyman. He is actually Lloyd Garmadon, and he uses knockout gas and knocks him out before Lloyd passes out. He reveals himself as Harumi, and this is where the other ninjas lose contact with Lloyd, and they go call the other ninjas. Unfortunately, the other ninjas can't go and help them right now because some of them are, stuck in jail. Now, how the hell did Kai's team get stuck in jail? Well, it all started with them trying to figure out how to find Nia. Now, they do know that Nia is around by hearing other people from the scene saying oh yeah, there's been a strange water spirit been helping us, but we can't seem to recognize her. She looks like the old water ninja, but I think that's just us and us missing her. And the ninja's oh no, yeah, that's Nia. So they're like, okay, how do we talk to Nia? Like, how do we do this? Do we just like fake like a shipwreck and hopefully like she'll come and save us? And they're just like, I think that's a bad idea because she would know. And Jay's like, how about we just keep throwing 1,000,000 bottles in the ocean? And they're just like, Jay, have you been littering in the ocean? And Jay looks out into the sea, sees 1,000,000 bottles, like, a little bit. And Kai's like, when have you had time to do that? You've been around us. When did you do this? And Jay's like, I have my ways. And this is where Nia comes in and like chucks one of the bottles at Jay's head, and she's like, stop littering in the ocean. And Jay's like, oh my god, you got my message. You like, do you have any memories? Do you know who I am? And Nia's like, no, not at all. Like, I just know you guys are supposed to be important to me. That's what like all of your bottles have been saying, and all like these people who've been leaving me random letters everywhere. Like, I still have no clue who the hell you guys are. You're supposed to be important. So they're just like, okay, we can deal with your memory problems later. First, we gotta figure out how to turn you back. And they're like brainstorming, and they're just like, and Kai's like, what about a sphere's like staff? And Gina's like, how that's supposed to help us? And he's like, okay, well, we do know the reason why Nia became the water spirit was because of her power. She like became fully embraced into her power. If she doesn't have her powers anymore, then most likely wouldn't she turn human? And Skylar's what? Like, well, that sounds plausible, but most likely it's not gonna help. Like, but we have no other choice. So, like, where's the staff? And they're like, we don't know, but we do know where Sphere is. And like, wherever Sphere is, like, she most likely would know where her staff is. So they go and break into, prison. So they find a Sphere, but unfortunately, a Sphere says, I don't know where my staff is. And then they're just like, well, there was no reason to come here. And the Sphere's like, wait, you can't leave me here behind. Like, you don't have no idea how to use my staff. Only I can use it. So you really need me. So they're just like, oh, fine. So they make a big old plan to break a Sphere out. And luckily, they're able to break it all out. Unfortunately, the Ninja Seeker Force are there. And they see that the ninjas are trying to break a Sphere, right? So they fight them again. And they're just, like, completely confused. They're like, what the hell? I thought you guys are like the good guys. Like, why are you trying to break out like a master criminal? And they're just like, we need her, we can't explain, we're sorry. So they like fight her, and unfortunately the only two people that actually get out are Skylor and a Sphere. And Skylor runs to like the ninja headquarters, and she like goes and explains everything, and Rue's like, you guys thought this was a good idea? Why? Now we have two ninjas that are in jail. And Skylar's like, well, sorry, we didn't think you would agree to this plan, so we just did it anyway. Anyway, we now have to find a Sphere's staff is at, but Pixel's like, why don't we just call Cyberborg? So they call Cyberborg. Cyberborg is like, oh yeah, I know where it is, but before the ninjas come in, the police come and try to arrest them for breaking a Sphere out of prison. Before they can make the rest, they were called in and saying that a golden demon has released all the prisoners from, where Kai and Jay were at. So they're all released, got mine. And now the police can't arrest the ninjas because they got to team up with the secret ninja force to arrest this golden demon and get all the prisoners back into the prison cell. But before they get all the prisoners back into the prison cell, they're like, okay, we still gotta get the staff to revive Nia. So they quickly do that, revive Nia, but Nia still doesn't have quite her memories. Like, she knows a little bit more than she used to now that she's like fully like back human, but she still doesn't know like all the details. Like, there are still big chunks of her memories still missing from her. Now, when the ninjas see the footage of the golden demon, Rue automatically recognizes that is Oni. And he's like, what the hell is Oni doing here? That's impossible. Then he remembers the clippings that someone's been giving to him. So he's like, okay, maybe the person who's giving me clippings knew about the golden Oni. So they go and track down who's been giving him clippings, and it's Gomdon. And Rue's like, what are you doing here? And Gomdon's like, I've been living here slowly terrorizing these people, trying to be nice, but they can't seem to get a hit. Also, this is Vinny. And so Rue's like, okay, whatever. Also, you knew about the Oni? And he's like, yes. And it's like, what about the golden Oni? What do you know about him? And Gomdon's like, what golden Oni? The Oni are just supposed to look like normal Oni. And then he's like, where's Lloyd? And he's like, that's impossible. No one could have turned him into Oni. And then Gomdon's like, the Overlord could, and also someone else, but she's dead. And Rue's like, Hurumi's not dead, she's alive. The Overlord resurrected her. And then Gamadon's like, well, there you go, but I'm not helping you because I got a plant to look after. Unfortunately, this plant does get destroyed, so now Gamadon has to help them. And now they have to deal with Lloyd. Unfortunately, what no one knows, not even the Overlord knows, is that Lloyd is having conflicted sides. Like, anytime his only side is seeing affliction, it's just like good Lloyd screaming at him, telling him, this isn't who he is, he's good. Like, you need to change me back, give me back power. Like, you're gonna regret what you're doing. And the only Lord side of him is just telling him to be quiet and know what he's saying. And unfortunately, someone does see this. Rumi sees this. And she's questioning, like, why is Lloyd fighting back? Like, he's supposed to be pure evil. And then she starts questioning herself. Like, she doesn't even feel pure evil. Like, yeah, she resurrected the Overlord and helping him with the Oniyama, but is she truly evil? Is what she truly wants? Now, Gamadon realizes that he has to fight his son again. And the ninjas are like, why can't we get through the fog? And he's like, do you see all those normal people turning into like stone? That's what happens when you're not part Oni. And they're like, can't Ru help you fight your own son? And he's like, no. Like, yeah, Ru's Oni, but he's like only 1/4 Oni. So he can't really go through this fog at all, even if he has Oni blood seeping through him. And the ninjas are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. By the way, that's just headcanon in my thing. I don't know why Ru can't go through the fog. I'm guessing my only reason is because he's not super Oni. So anyway, Gamadon fights through the Oni army. Even he's being a little bit underwhelmed and getting a bunch tired. And the ninjas are trying to help other people who are trapped during this like foggy, creepy mess, getting all the citizens saved. And now, Gamadon has seen Lloyd, and he's talking to Lloyd and saying, I know you're in there, son. I remember a time when you thought I was evil, that I would do anything to defeat you, but yet you kept trying and trying to get me on the good side, so I'm going to do that exactly to you. And the owner side just laughs at him, like, oh, you remember that? I remember you telling me you didn't remember anything of your past life, you little liar. And Gamadon's like, yeah, no, you're right. I don't remember a bunch. I have amnesia, a lot like Nia. But guess what? I'm slowly remembering all my memories. Not all of them, but I remember enough to know that my son never gave up on me. And that you are not him. And Oni's like, well, pitiful, because now you have to kill me. Gamadon's like, no, I don't have to kill you. I just gotta get my son to fight back alongside with me. And the Golden Oni's like, your son's dead. And Gamadon's like, you know what? That's what the Overlord said to me when he controlled me. And now, where is Harumi and the Overlord? And just like that, they come out of the shadows. And the Overlord's laughing. It's like, father and son again. Now the son's in my possession. Hopefully he has much more of a backbone than you ever did. So much easier to control, don't you think, Harumi? And Harumi doesn't say anything. She's just kind of wide-eyed, having no clue what to do. But something in the back of her mind, something is off about all this. She stays quiet, just watching Gamadon battle the Golden Oni, who is his son. And while they're battling, Gamadon is getting beaten, whoops, by Lloyd. And the Overlord starts crackling. Like, you thought you could defeat him? You forget your powers come from me. Oh, you didn't realize I was part Oni? Oh, I created you, the damn snake. You that day, you became a puppet without even realizing it. It was set in stone from day one. This is where Harumi realized that the ninjas weren't to blame for the death of her parents. It was the Overlord. So she sends a giant blast towards the Overlord, which slightly severs the connection between Lloyd and the Overlord, just for a little bit to help him break through. And now the Overlord, who is pissed, screams at Harumi, "You dare defy me, girl? Well, I brought you back from the dead, and I can put you back in the grave." So he tries to blast her. Unfortunately, Lloyd, who has now broken through the Oni form for just a little bit, blasts the Overlord away before slowly turning back into his own zone. But fortunately, he doesn't get quite back because Gamdan blasts him with a blast, knocking him in and out for a while. Oh. And now, me and Gamdan are just staring at Lloyd while the Overlord shrieks in pain and runs away for a little while. And they're just like, okay, what do we do now? Well, luckily, Lloyd wakes up and he's like, what happened? And they're just like, you turned evil. And Lloyd's like, great. And he stares at Harumi. Well, nice to see you doing good again. And Harumi's like, yeah, it's weird. Sorry about all that. And Lloyd's like, I've done worse. Anyway, I think we gotta go find our teammates. By the way, you're still going to prison. Harumi's like, yeah, kinda called that. And so they run around trying to find the other ninjas. Now, Lloyd and Gamdan still have that talk about Lloyd asking Gamdan if he actually meant any of that, or if he was just like trying to connect to him. And Gamdan's like, I meant all that. Like, you may not realize it, but I do care for you. And Lloyd's like, okay, that's good. And luckily, they do find the other ninjas, and they're just like, what's Harumi doing here? And Lloyd's like, she saved me. It's a long explanation. Don't worry. She's still going to jail for this. Now they're wondering, what now? And they're just like, well, I hope the Chitara people and the Sea people definitely heard the message. And they're just like, what message? And they're like, oh, we need to send a message to the Sea people. And someone, I forget, Cole sent a message to the Chitara. Hopefully they have come. And Lloyd's like, when did you guys do this? And they're like, you were evil. You weren't around. Why are you questioning us? And Lloyd's like, you know what? Whatever. Good job. And unfortunately, the people do come, but they realize, like, okay, well, under match, is there any other helpful ideas? And Kai's like, well, like, Masako and Wu tried to decide for this message. They all they said was, kick back, whip around, and spin to unlock this dragon form. We have no clue what that means. Like, we haven't unlocked it. And I'm not even sure Nia could unlock it, because she doesn't have powers. And Nia's like, hello, I have a little bit of powers, and I don't need powers to unlock it. I'm totally capable of taking care of myself. Luckily, the ninjas do not have to beat all these bad guys by themselves, because the Chitara people and the Sea people have finally come to join alongside the ninjas to help defeat the prisoners. And luckily, the ninjas were able to like unlock the golden form to also help and defeat the Overlord again, once and for all. I'm so sorry that the ending was kind of rushed. I know I missed a lot of scenes, but I was like trying to remember and create this big story.